Good morning, beloveds. I have said in the past, and I will say it again, that what is going on in your life will definitely inform the way you read sacred text. Actually, it'll inform the way you read any text. It informs the way you listen to music. I'm sure by now that you know that Reverend Marcia made her, well, one of the things that we like to say is she graduated into her next level of existence. She was, well, is one of my teachers, one of my mentors, one of my guides. She was one of the bright lights at Creative Life Spiritual Center, and we are definitely reeling from her loss. But that does not excuse me from doing my work, and so I am telling you this because I don't know how it's going to affect the reading, but it will definitely affect the reading. And it is also partly in tribute to a woman who inspired me and challenged me along the way. All right, so it is December 3rd. Our title is There's Always a Way Out of Trouble. The quote is, "As the Lord is called righteous and loving, so you be righteous and loving." And it is from Sifri, Deuteronomy 85a. So it may be a teaching on Deuteronomy. Jesus proved that God in man is unlimited. I accept this and now proceed to demonstrate it. My troubles are no longer stumbling blocks. I accept them as challenges to prove that right thinking is the creative power of life. As I dismiss them, the solutions appear. Temporarily, they have blinded me, but now I see through the eyes of spirit, and the way out is clear. As I discipline my thoughts to God's ideas, I am divinely led to right solutions. No matter how great my problems may be, I dismiss them as unreal. God wants me to be happy, and that is why I want to be happy. I can be joyous, for mind in me knows that my good is at hand. No delays, no obstacles. My good is where I am, and I declare it. The way is mental, not material. I struggle with matter, but I demonstrate with mind, letting go of my struggles to change conditions. I have faith that the spirit within me generates what I need and what I want. Too long have I tarried in the halls of matter. I now enter the upper room of mind, action, and take my place in the world as God's representative, clothed with all the power and all the creative possibility. I see myself as victorious. The universe is my kingdom, and I rule with authority. Never again will a trouble torment me. I have been resurrected out of all fear into power. I speak this word with assurance, for I know that the law of mind does what I direct it to do. I have a way out and a way upward. The way is joyous and loving. The solution of my problems makes me a better person. It is easier to love my fellow man. It is easier to be a happy person. God acting through me transforms me, and my whole viewpoint changes. I now see the word possible is impossible. I now see that the word impossible is a lie. God's probability is always within me, awaiting my recognition. I am now victorious over trouble. Life spiritualized is life simplified. In quietness, my purpose becomes clear. My divinity takes control, and my troubles fade as mist before the morning sun. The way of truth is mine today. There is nothing to oppose me, and all of God is working for my victory. All right. There's always a way out of trouble. I know I've focused on it before, and that's one of the things that in Science of Mind, one of the things that we teach is that to focus on the solutions, not the problems. Where your attention goes is where your power goes. Where your focus is, that is where your power is. So if you are focused on the problems, you're going to get more problems. It's not going to go anywhere. And so what you want to do is turn away from the problems and turn towards the solutions. And I know that I make it sound easy and you're going, but Lisa, and it's true. It's true. But when you're worrying over the problem, you are not imagining a solution. And you as a beloved child of God have all of this power available to you. You are more powerful than you know. And so it's really about focusing your attention where it will do the most good. And worrying about a problem is not where it will do the most good. Focusing on the solution. Focusing on, and what I would tell you, especially the bigger the problem, break it down into smaller parts. What's one small change that you can make? What's one small thing that you can do that can start a domino effect that would create the solution that you're looking for? As in today, I woke up hurting. I woke up hurting, and I woke up hurting on the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, and the physical plane. So what could I do for myself that would support a solution there? And it came down to going for a bike ride and taking a shower. And those are mundane things. But the bike ride helped to stretch out my body without putting any additional pressure on where the physical pain is. And so it stretched out and helped me relax where the tightness is in my body. And then the shower, well, you know? And also when I ride, I don't have to think about anything. I can let my mind go. And I do need to focus on what's going on, the environment around me because they're cars, but I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to worry about the day or anything. For that moment, all I am is me on a bike, enjoying the wind and the Christmas decorations. And so those are two small things that I did to start my day off better, because I admit I'm struggling today. And so those are two small things that I could do to help ease what is going on. And it will make the rest of the day better. So, small things, small changes that you can make that will support what it is that you've got going on. So there's always a way out of trouble. And as the Lord is called righteous and loving, so you be righteous and loving, because you are made in the image of God. You are made in righteous and loving ways. You absolutely have the ability and the responsibility to be righteous and loving. So Jesus proved that God in humanity is unlimited. I accept this and now proceed to demonstrate it. My troubles are no longer stumbling blocks. My troubles are no longer stumbling blocks is an important idea, because what we can do is we can take those stumbling blocks and build a ladder out. We can use those stumbling blocks to create bricks to build something so much more fantastic than we had before. If we stop thinking of them as stumbling blocks and start thinking of them as opportunities. I accept them as challenges to prove that right thinking is the creative power of life. Meaning that I know that I have within me the power and the guidance to get out of whatever it is that I am in. And the guidance can come to me in many, many ways. From the still small voice to simply going to somebody that I know and trust and saying, hey, I need help with this. As I dismiss them, the solutions appear. Temporarily, they have blinded me. And that's what trouble is. It's a temporary blindness. Once we stop focusing on the trouble, we start seeing what's going on around, and then we have the opportunity to change the trouble. Temporarily, they have blinded me, but now I see through the eyes of spirit, and the way out is clear. As I discipline my thoughts to God's ideas, and that's one of the things that I'm a big believer in, especially when we're dealing with the physical body, is go back to God's idea of you. Because God's idea of you is perfect. God's idea of you is whole. God's idea of you is amazing. So always, always, when you're dealing with mental, physical, and emotional trouble, go back to God's ideas. Anytime you're dealing with any, go back to God's ideas. I am divinely led to right solutions. No matter how great my problems may be, I dismiss them as unreal. God wants me to be happy, and that is why I want to be happy. God wants us to be happy. We are going to encounter situations that will temporarily, but the trend of our life. And that's what I was talking about yesterday with the trend of our thoughts. We're going to have bumps. Sometimes we're going to have big bumps, i.e. a loss. But the trend of our life can be happy. And I would say, do not despair because they are gone, but be joyous that you had them while you did. Which is a quote that I just completely messed up, but you get the gist. I can be joyous, for mind in me knows that my good is at hand. No delays, no obstacles. My good is where I am, and I declare it. Pardon me while I remove the tears so that I can see the page. The way is mental, not material. Super important, because our mental attitude affects the material plane. So the way out is always going to start in the mental, because sometimes the only choice we have is to choose how we feel. And that starts the domino effect in the material world. I struggle with matter, but I demonstrate with mind. Letting go of my struggles to change conditions, I have faith that the spirit within me generates what I need and what I want. Too long have I tarried in the halls of matter. I now enter the upper rooms of mind action and take my place in the world as God's representative. If you wonder what the mission is today, there it is. There it is. You just heard it. Clothed with all the power and all the creative possibility, I see myself as victorious. And that is the first place to start. To see yourself the way God sees you. With power, with possibility, with creativity, and victorious. The universe is my kingdom, and I rule with authority. And I rule my universe with my divine authority, just as you rule your universe with your divine authority. And where we interact, amazing things can happen when we know who we are. Never again will trouble torment me, for I have been resurrected out of all fear into power. I speak this word with assurance, for I know that the law of mind does what I direct it to do. I have a way out and a way upward. I know that the law of mind does what I direct it to do, which means that I am making conscious use of that law. That I am aware of my thoughts, I am aware of my feelings, I am aware of my actions, and I'm aware of the effects. The way is joyous and loving. The solution to my problems makes me a better person. It is easier to love my fellow human. That's the practice, spiritual practice. It is easier to be a happy person. God acting through me transforms me. When I am aware of the fact that I am a divine channel and that God is acting through me, it can't help but be good and make me more fully who I am. And my whole viewpoint changes. I now see the word impossible is a lie. Because right there in the word it says, I'm possible. God's possibility is always within me, awaiting my recognition. Consciousness, consciousness, consciousness. I am now victorious over troubles. Life spiritualized is life simplified. In quietness, my purpose becomes clear, my divinity takes control, and my troubles fade as mists before the morning sun. The way of truth is mine today. There is nothing to oppose me, and all of God is working for my victory. All right, beloveds. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to enter the upper rooms of mind action and to take our place as God's representative. How do people get to know God? They get to know God through you. So you are clothed with possibility, you are clothed with creativity, you are clothed with power, you are clothed with love. You truly are God's representative on this earth. And in the next life, you will be God's representative in whatever that looks like too. All right, beloveds, I do encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. And if it means slowing down and taking a breath today, or going out and having a good cry, I heartily encourage that. Please let loving, kind, and compassionate be your first response to yourself, whatever else is going on. Especially right now. Okay. I do encourage you to engage your mind and your body. Getting moving sometimes can shake a lot of stuff out and be very helpful. I do encourage you to go get a face full of sun. Apparently it's gonna be wet today, which I hadn't expected, so there we are. I hadn't seen the news in a couple of days, so I don't know. And drink plenty of water. Whatever else you decide to do, please open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It is all around you. And the way to get there, the way to see it, the way to feel it, the way to experience it is to look for the good. To look for the good and praise it. Because the more you look, the more you see, the more you see, the more there is. And that's the way it works. All right, beloveds. I honestly don't know if the book study is going to happen today. Check the email. I know it went out a little late, but it is in your box. And if you haven't gotten it, please email info@creativelife.org and get it. And I probably, this Saturday will be the last Saturday that I'm not on at 9 a.m. and then I should go back to regularly scheduled hours. We hadn't made plans to go to Dickens in Galveston. I'm still going to do that. So take care of yourself. Know that you're loved. I do like to tell you to have a great day, an amazing day, a fantastic day, a wonderful day. The reason why I tell you to have a good day, and if that is too much pressure, to simply have a day, is because you're enough. And there are going to be days that you're not going to have a good day. But you can still have a day, and you can still be okay. And that's the kind of day I'm going to have. I'm going to be okay. And so are you. All right? What I want you to know, without reservation, is that you are loved. Always. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. And I would also say that when one light goes out, every other light that has been touched by that light, we get to shine a little bit brighter to keep that light's memory, to keep that light's teachings. That's what we're here for. All right, beloveds, I will see you tomorrow. Know that you're loved.